Joey B, man, with stats in hand, spilling numbers like grains of sand. Fantasy talking about diamond dreams, chasing players, whispering their schemes. Oh, Welsh, breaking it down real slow, voices howling in the radio's glow. Talking monsters on the baseball field, wizards swinging bats and magic shields. Fantasy baseball in the night, podcasters giving us that sight. Question marks and stars collide, dreams of glory never hide.
Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapia. With me, of course, is the Welsh, and it's all of you, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks, on a Monday morning. You know, I was noticing in that video, in the intro video for the first time, when we have beards and when we don't. Sometimes we have them at the same time. Sometimes we have them at separate times. But I don't ever see us both clean shaven at the same time, Welsh. I thought that was a little interesting on the timeline of leading off.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, that's more you, because like I can only go so long until I'm forced to shave. So it's not often that you are completely clean shaven. I think that would be actually very disturbing, if I'm being honest. I think it would be a little jarring for everybody.
Thank you. That's what I'm
No,
here.
for both of us at the same time, not you, not just you, both of us.
For the audience. And the audience, we're all here on Twitch, as always, twitch.tv/fantasypros. That's where you can watch us live every single Monday through Friday, noon Eastern time. You can also watch us on demand on Fantasy Pros MLB. And while you're watching on the YouTube channel, drop your comments below, because you might win yourself a Jose Ramirez autographed jersey from our good pals at pristineauction.com. That's right. Drop your comments, ring the bell till it goes ding, and subscribe to Fantasy Pros MLB. That's the way you win this bad boy. And let's start here with a suspension today. That's right. Jose Alvarado, boo, 80-game suspension here. And Alvarado had been really good. Man, was he lights out in the spring, too. It looked like a huge year was coming for him in that Philadelphia Phillies bullpen. And now it becomes, I believe, Jordan Romano's job again. I just dropped a short video here talking about how Romano, over his last 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, no earned runs, 1 walk. He's been excellent just in time, luckily. But the Phillies have a bigger problem now, which is they don't even have him for the postseason as well as the 80-game suspension. This is a huge blow to that Phillies bullpen, because arguably he is the best arm they've got there.
It's pretty nuts, especially whenever you get any of these relievers jumping into this. And I don't know, he was starting to get this little cult following, because Jose Alvarado, he's like, oh, I love coffee, and everybody was jumping into this and like, oh, how fun it is, and he throws 101 and he's gone. I think this might be to the level where the Phillies need to potentially look at some more bullpen depth. Probably gonna have to wait until near the trade deadline, when a few more teams are out of it and they can buy. Because are they comfortable enough? You know, Strom can get by with it. They move Taijuan Walker to the bullpen. They do have a lot of young guys. That's the other interesting thing. I mean, Mick Abel just absolutely was filthy this weekend. And that's a guy, you know, if they ended up wanting to do anything nuts, you could throw him in the rotation. And if you were taking a Ranger, or, I mean, hell, at this point, Aaron Nola doesn't look like he should be in the rotation. You know, they could move some pieces around. But at the end of the day, losing this seems to thrust Jordan Romano back into the role. Might have an offhanded save of Walker or Strom, but they might have to go get somebody. And it's probably the determination is probably going to be if Romano can be consistent over the next little bit, if they're not going to go out and try to acquire, because like you said, it's not just the 80 games, it's the playoffs. You know, your most dominant reliever is out for the playoffs. And he said it was due to some weight loss drug. And I will, to this day, just be amazed that these athletes and everybody, maybe we're giving them too much of a benefit of the doubt, but it's amazing that nobody ever consults the place that they work with if there could be anything that could get them popped where they could lose money and their job.
I can't imagine it takes very long. Email, you call somebody up. There's got to be a hotline, maybe.
It's along the lines of like, if you go out to the bar and you're just like, all right, I've had 13 drinks, maybe I'll call an Uber. Like, why do these guys with all the money in the world not call an Uber Black, whatever you want? Call one of those. But why also can't you just call the league and be like, hey, can I take whatever I'm about, you know, whatever excuse I'm about to say? But also that's why, because it's excuses.
He was on the weight loss drug, sit and not collect a paycheck for 80 games. I think that's the name of it. Anyway, Aaron Nola, by the way, not losing his rotation spot. That ain't happening. Let's get to Van Rod's question. She's got a question here. Who to pick up to replace Lugo? Will Warren, Taijuan Walker, or Palante. I'm going to go with Will Warren. He's been pretty solid lately, and the Yankees are the Yankees, and they're still at the top of this division. So I'm going to go there. The American League is weak too. I want to go with Will Warren. Where do you want to go?
Yeah, I think, and we'll get extra points with Van Rod for picking a Yankee too. So I'll go with Will Warren as well.
Well, then right automatically, I'm still sour about yesterday. So no, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. Although I did enjoy Juan Soto tipping his cap on night one to the Yankee crowd for booing the hell out of him. I thought that was terrific. Speaking of the Yankees, Cody Bellinger 3 for 3 with a double and a grand slam that just put the knife in the heart last night. Ugh, brutal. Whatever. Go Yankees. Yay, you won. Merrill Kelly was terrific. I want to talk about Merrill Kelly because he's been really solid lately. Also, he had 11 strikeouts in 7 innings. His ERA is down to 3.26. His WHIP is at 1. He's got 52 strikeouts to just 15 walks in 58 innings. What do you make of the Merrill Kelly renaissance going on lately?
Merrill's always been a good spot starter. This was the Colorado Rockies. Gave excuses to our boy Jack Leiter and having a good start because it's like, well, it was Colorado. Like, Merrill did have an absolutely dominant performance against Colorado, 16 swinging whiffs in this one. He changed up his pitch mix too, and that might be something for us to watch. He's been four-seam changeup cutter. In this one, he went cutter and changeup, or changeup and cutter as his top 2 used pitches, and they had pretty high whiff rates. So that might be the ultimate change here. I still don't know if I trust him as like a long-standing starter. I just think great matchups like this against Colorado, I'm going to throw him out there. At the end of the day, his Ks are up a tiny bit. His ERA looks good, but the expected is over 4. He's giving up a ton of barreled contact. It's still pretty hard. I would tread lightly with Merrill if you start to feel too confident. That's when I think you need to jump ship. That's what I would say about Merrill.
Fair enough. Here's one from Dockler. Luis Robert was dropped in my league. TJ Friedel or Abreu worth dropping? I say Friedel. What say you?
I'm not dropping Abreu. So yeah, Friedel.
Exactly.
And I would do
that's
it.
the way to go too. We got a lot of news today too. We got prospecting of the Welsh coming up. We've got a lot of rookie news. We got a recall as well. So very exciting things. Is Teoscar officially back today? I have not heard anything about Teoscar today, and I just looked and swept everything before the show. So if something breaks during the show, we'll let you know. But I don't believe as of yet we've gotten that. However, more news. Jack Leiter's up to 2 good starts in a row, 7 innings, no decision. But I'm going to give him the good start there. It was a good day, 3 hits, 7 innings, 3 runs. So that's quality. Let's go. 7 innings, very impressed. So that's 2. He's got 4 more to go before he becomes a real boy. Yes, Walsh?
Okay. I think just having 4 good starts, not in a row for the year is fine, but we can keep doing this. Teoscar is activated today. That
is activated today.
I do see that coming out of reporters that he'll be activated. According to Dave Roberts, he will be activated today. So very good sign. So get him in line.
The deal was, and you agreed to it, 6 straight good starts. So he's at 2. So this is cake. He's only got 4 more.
But again, the deal is like for you. For me, I said before, like I don't think he's a great starter. I think he's a serviceable MLB starter, and he is like stacking. I don't think he needs 6 to be like
a real boy. I'm not going to say he's elite.
Okay.
I'm just saying he's going to be a real boy.
You know what we need then?
There's 2 different.
There's 2 different versions of this.
And if he has a blow up start, it goes back to 0.
So I have 2 different versions of this. One. And Callie, we might need to do AI for this. One is he is Pinocchio with the super long nose, and as his starts get better, the nose comes down, and we just could have art for that. Or
I thought that would get bigger.
Well, no, it gets bigger when he's bad. So like it's coming down, yeah.
I see.
Or we do this like Major League, and I don't really want to take clothing off. Like they did, but maybe we could just add clothing on or add his glove on, which we add things on. Maybe the Pinocchio one is a better idea.
I like the Pinocchio one. That was good. See, you should have Costanza it and left on the high note. Royce Lewis, first homer of the season. So there you go. But he almost had another one too. Jackson Churio ended up robbing him. I want to talk about Alexander Canario, who 1 for 3 against the Phillies yesterday. He's now 14 for 43, hitting 326 with 2 homers, 6 ribbies in May. This was a guy that was in the Cubs organization. Then he had a pretty good spring with the Mets. They had no room for him in the 40-man roster, so he got cut. Now he's in Pittsburgh. He's becoming an everyday player. In deeper leagues, is he a guy that you should start to monitor or pick up or be paying attention to? Because I think now in May that we're sitting here, again, with some of the outfield injuries we've had, Canario becomes at least intriguing, I think.
Yeah, I think you should take a look at him in like 15 plus leagues. He's super high barrel, hard hit guy, which is phenomenal. He's getting the ball in the air. Great. His strikeouts have come down. He's walking, like all of that stuff looks solid, but kind of a primary fastball hitter, which he's absolutely dominating right now. I imagine the pitch mix changes are going to start to happen a bit, and really low contact percentage, 72% zone contact percentage. But can he be a 240 hitter? His underlying profile is a guy where if he were hitting 240, he's going to hit 20 plus homers. So he's going to be valuable. And here's the other positive. That team is just messy. They're a disaster. And playing time as the season goes on, it's just going to be more and more, let's see what we've got. And Canario looks like a player that they're going to want to see a full season out of. So I do think there's some value in picking him up.
Would you trade Ozzy Albies for Luis Castillo from Frav? Yeah, I'm good with that. I think that's.
I don't think I would. I'm a super not Luis Castillo guy right now.
Wow,
Ozzy.
You're not a big Ozzy guy either.
I'm not. Yeah, either one of them. I guess it would be maybe dependent on my need. If I super need rotational depth or something like that, I guess I would consider it, but I'd rather have Ozzy instead.
Zebby, Jack Leiter, or Ryan Weathers rest of season from Laser Sharp. I'm going to say Jack Leiter.
I'm going
to surprise people here.
Are you going to go Leiter at the top?
I'm going to go Leiter because I think Texas is going to be in this thing. Eventually, Corey Seager at some point will come back. Probably get hurt again, but he'll be back eventually. I don't know. I feel, the Zebby start wasn't great already, and Ryan Weathers pitches on the Marlins, and I think there's limitations there. I think it's between Weathers and Leiter for me rest of season, but what do you think, Walsh?
I'm going to go Weathers on this. I'm going to go Weathers, Leiter, and then Matthews because I don't know if Zebby is going to have that rotation spot. That's the question. Him and Festa maybe going back and forth. Weathers been good. So far, 1.8 ERA. I guess it was only one start, but 28% K percentage, low walks. I think all of these guys are probably more streamers than anything else. So when you're asking that question, I would just kind of line it up and then here's the order I like. If there's a cool matchup, I put one of those guys in. I don't know if any of those guys are going to be worth holding on to through struggles, though.
Paul Skeens, another tough luck outing for him. 1 run, 3 hits, 8 innings, but again, got a loss against the Phillies. He had 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, 40% whiff rate. Everything you could ask for, but it's just been a little, maybe it's not been the best stretch here for him, but performances have been good. Results not always been perfect for him. But speaking of the Pirates, we do have a Joe Stradamus update. Over the weekend, we heard Jared Jones suffered a setback in his throwing program. He's going to meet with the doctors tomorrow, and he's going to have the elbow re-examined. A lot of rumors circulating that he's going to have Tommy John. Joe Stradamus strikes again. I hate seeing into the future sometimes, Welsh, but we keep fooling ourselves, always thinking it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. It's like that meme with the dog and the room is on fire whenever we have a pitcher who's got an elbow issue, and we all just think it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
Who could have thought in any world that a guy who has arm issues and is on the injured list, Joe Stradamus could have possibly seen this outcome?
No, what Joe Stradamus kept telling everybody was stop wasting draft picks on this guy. And people didn't refuse to. They kept taking him. Well, I'm going to take a shot on him, or I'm going to hold and wait and see. No, it never works out well. It's always a disaster. Every single time.
I saw 55,000 scenarios, and the only one was he would be hurt. Like, oh my God, Joe, how did you see it? How?
Yeah, that's exactly. Van Rod's right. That's exactly it. Everything's fine. Everyone sits there, but it's this cockeyed optimism that everybody has in fantasy baseball, where you just think everything's gonna be okay. He's got a problem. He'll figure it out. He'll be okay. Who's that?
Jared Jones, right here.
There he is. Everything's fine. There he is. He's on fire. Perfect. You should keep that handy, because that's going to come in handy throughout the show. Because also on fire, the Baltimore Orioles, who fired their manager, Brandon Hyde, 15-28 to start the season before the firing. So, Welsh, this is the third manager fired before Memorial Day. Pop quiz hotshot, and for everybody out there in the chat, too. When was the last time 4 managers were fired before Memorial Day? It's happened in this century. I will tell you that.
I would have actually said it hasn't happened. I don't remember this many firings.
It's happened in this century, recently.
Oh, I don't know. 2000...
Well, maybe not too recently for some people, depending on how old they are. But
okay. Well, now you
drop a year in the chat if you want to guess what year.
1994.
No, this century.
Oh,
we're in the new.
Yeah.
2000 and
well, you're saying when you said the age,
since the year 2000. Since the year 2000.
2006.
No, it was not 2006. I see people saying 2012, not so much. But look, here's the thing. It's not Brandon Hyde's fault. I mean, you go into the year with Zach Eflin, Charlie Morton, Sagano, Dean Creamer. who, by the way, was also the dean in House Party 2. I think a lot of people forget that that was the name of the dean.
People forget that.
But I mean, it's not Brent Hyde's fault, and firing the manager is not going to change anything. So it's going to be a hot mess for the Orioles rest of season. They also let go of Kyle Gibson, so I guess that experiment also failed. What a shock. Tobias Myers, more transactions. He was sent down to AAA. My boy Logan Henderson's going nowhere. He's going nowhere, baby. I'm going to cut a promo every time he goes out there and starts because that's my dude. He was great again last week, and he ain't going no place. He's sticking in that rotation this time. Also in the rotation now, Hayden Birdsong is going to replace Jordan Hicks. Now, Birdsong has had a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, ERA around 2.3. Sometimes the control can be a little erratic. He had a great spring. People thought he might make that rotation. So, Welsh, what do you think of people running to the waiver wire to add Birdsong?
Yeah, I think he toes the must pick up line here just because of some of the strikeout potential. It is interesting though, because it's like, as a starter last year compared to this year as a reliever, his Ks are down, but his walks are also down. But he has got some, he's got some big whiff stuff. I mean, his slider's got a 31% whiff rate on it. Changeup's got a 48% whiff rate. He throws both of those a significant amount of the time. And his changeup has a 43% K percentage. So remember, whiff is just swinging through. That could be on one strike counts, but actual K percentage is locking these guys down. That is a massive strikeout pitch with a fastball that has towed up a little bit. But again, now that he's going to be more in the starter range, is he going to maintain 96? Either way, it's a great ballpark factor. There's a ton of young strikeout potential in Hayden Birdsong. ERA has been great, 2.31 in relief. Expected is up a bit over 4, and the barrels are up. So I would lightly say, as we had Sunday where everyone's like, oh, it's waivers and blah, blah, blah. Birdsong, you want to pick up. But he's not invincible. Like he might be nothing more than a streamer. Like, so really, Dodgers, you're not going to want to play him. But I think with the strikeout potential alone, I'd pick him up. And someone asked Weathers over Birdsong. I'd actually go Birdsong over him right now. Okay. We have a bunch of who'd you rather's, Horton or Birdsong. That one's really, really tough. If I want to chase the strikeout potential, I'd probably go Birdsong. But I think Horton's going to stay in the rotation.
But we'll see if he sticks in that rotation or not. One more transaction. Colton Wong calls it a career too. So Colton Wong never quite, I think, reached the potential people thought. Of course, he's a friend of Welsh's. Everybody's a friend.
No, remember I told that story where I saw him in Complex and I was like, "Hey, Colton, it's good to see you." And he's like, "It's not good to see you," because he didn't want to. Because he didn't want to be there. He laughed about it. He was like, "I'm in Complex League ball." He's like, "It's not good to see you here."
Like you.
I mean, that's definite possibility. But he also did say, by the way, he was kind of like, I'm retiring because it doesn't seem like there's any options. Like, we could see him in a little bit. But yes, Colton Wong, we bid you adieu. 11 years, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, good major league career. Just never reached, I think, the potential that people. I remember him in that World Series when he was a rookie, remember? And people were like, oh, this kid's going to be a speedster. He's going to steal 80 bases. He's going to change the game and stuff. And you know what? Maybe had the rules changes been in there when he was younger, he might have had a bigger fantasy impact. I think the rules changes hurt players like Colton Wong back in that era. I think you can look back to that. Contact guy. I'm sure the shift killed him on top of all the other stuff. The stolen base situation. Also, more on the San Francisco Giants rotation a little bit later in the program. Wanted to give you the answer to the question. 2002 was the last time that we had so many managers get fired before Memorial Day. Phil Garner was fired 6 games into the season for the Detroit Tigers, if you recall that. Davey Lopes of the Brewers, Buddy Bell of the Rockies, and then it was the manager in Kansas City as well. So it was 4 guys before Memorial Day. So we're close to tying a record. So
who could get fired? Who's the guy that gets fired?
You know what? It's funny. We were playing this game on Sunday on the TV show, and I don't know if there's another one in season. Maybe after the season, but I don't think in season right now. I think you look at the bottom teams because Ron Washington's not going anywhere. The White Sox manager's not getting fired. Like
Will Venable's not. Yeah, he's not getting fired.
Yeah, like all the bad teams. I mean, the Marlins going to make a managerial change? I don't think so. The Brewers, even if they miss the playoffs, they're not making a managerial change.
They love Pat Murphy. I know.
Yeah, like I just no. So I think this is it. But you never know. Crazy things happen. Let's get to the rookie. Abel was able for the Phillies yesterday. He had a 2.53 ERA, 51 strikeouts over 46 innings in AAA. He struck out 9. Again, it was the Pirates, but still a great debut from him. 97.3 average fastball. Welsh, any comments about Abel?
Yeah, he's a guy. I just don't remember if I brought him up yet. I've written about him so far. He's had a couple years. There's a prospect fatigue thing because he was a big time prospect, really leveled out, and then all of a sudden just started finding it this year. Fastball up 97 in this last start. His curveball had a 72% whiff rate. Again, like you said, it is the Pirates, so like I guess tread lightly a little bit. But his curveball was dominant. His slider was great. His fastball looked great. He was commanding, which was an issue in the minors a bit. This is a very, very encouraging sign. I fully expect we're going to get another start in here soon, but Mick Abel jumps to the top of the list of those streamy type of guys. And really, frankly, if he were to be given a rotation spot, you need a couple more outings to like really buy in, but he might be one of those guys you want to buy in because he's always had strikeout potential. Always.
Zebby Matthews has potential, but he's not showing it at the major league level. 4 runs, 3 innings for him on Sunday. Nick Kurtz, another 0 for, God, now that batting average is at 219, so we can't hang our hat on that anymore. Dylan Cruz, signs of life, maybe. We heard him when we left you Friday. Dylan Cruz, we were thinking might not make it through the weekend, but good performance yesterday, 3 ribbies and a dinger over the Orioles. And then John Heyman just reported before the show that Matt Shaw's on his way back. He had 286 in AAA with 6 homers, 5 steals. So hopefully the second time will be the charm for that young prospect. And speaking of prospects, it's that time, everybody. It's time for Prospecting with the Welsh. That's right. It's when we take a look at some of the young players in minor league baseball scratching the surface of the big leagues, or you need to know for your dynasty league. So Welsh, let's kick things off here with Bubba Watch, as we always like to do here on the show. Another day goes by, another Bubba Chandler start in the minor league. 7 strikeouts, 2 runs, 4 1/3 on Sunday in AAA. Do the Pirates just hate their fans? Is that all it is at this point?
I do think there's an element, though, where they're starting to look logistically across the board. I mean, you just fired your manager. Your season's kind of out. You're towing the line. I don't know the dates, and it'd probably be helpful if I did, but they change of like Super 2 and having an extra year of eligibility. I think that's what we're dealing with right now, is we might be dealing with that extra year of control. And usually that's around like, late-ish May. And again, that line may have moved.
Is what I'm seeing right now in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so if that's the case, listen, they don't have a ton to play for. And it has to be the case, frankly, if you look at most of the results. I do think there's like a few things that still stand out. There's some deep counts he gets into, and there's a little bit of walk issues, but he's done a really good job at the pitch mixes. This past start, he had 15 whiffs on 41 swings. His fastball touched 100. He had 7 strikeouts. I mean, let's learn this at the major league level, but what are the Pirates playing for? So that's why when the question comes up, hey, is Bubba Chandler going to be up soon? Yeah. When? I don't know. The next one is when he should be up. He should be up tomorrow, but I think they're playing the control game right now, unfortunately. So, you got to come to terms with how you are as a fantasy owner. Can you hold him? Is he just taking up a bench spot? He will be like the most valuable starting pitching prospect once he comes up, but also this team does suck. And it's like, yeah. How different off could he be than like maybe a Mick Abel with the Phillies? Like the line actually might be kind of small. So maybe but at this point, if you've invested this long, you got to hold on Bubba.
Marcelo Mayer is starting at second base. So great glove at shortstop, but playing some second base. Why? Because Christian Campbell said, I'll play first base because I don't want to get sent down because I haven't hit a lick in the last week and a half. So good for you, Christian Campbell, taking one for the team. It looks like Campbell's going to get some work and has been working out at first base. And so far, Marcelo Mayer has been terrific at AAA. He's done everything you could possibly ask for. He's hit, he's fielded, and it looks like he's going to get his opportunity very quickly. And that could be great, too, because now all of a sudden you're talking about a guy who qualifies not only at shortstop, but eventually at second base as well in some leagues. So how does that potentially increase his value, not just this year, but maybe next year as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think multi-position eligibility is going to be great. Also that they are clearly, it's pretty trippy to me that they're like, I mean, I don't blame them asking the young guys, but that they looked at Marcelo or they looked at Roman Anthony and they're just like, we won't even consider having him move, but we'll have the guy that's in the majors right now and Christian Campbell be the guy that moves. And then we'll also move Mayer, but we'll never move Roman Anthony. But this is clearly, he's the next guy that's going to be up. Defensively, Christian Campbell has just been bad at second, but also throughout spring, he's played a bunch of different spots. And as you kind of mentioned, they said, someone asked him, hey, what's your favorite position? And he's like, whatever makes the team win, the most anti-Rafael Devers spot. But Marcelo Mayer's been pretty good. His average has lacked a little bit. He's definitely hit some homers, 47% hard hit rate in AAA, which is definitely pretty solid. He's getting the ball in the air. He's hit a 111, so he's showing some good natural raw power, and he is clearly going to be up. I got to be honest with you, I think he's up this week. I think at this point, how much longer are you going to do this experiment with Christian Campbell? I think you just throw him to the Wolves. This is a guy that's played multiple spots on the infield and the outfield. I think by mid this week, we're going to see Mayer come up, and he's going to be playing second base in the majors. So he's a pickup now.
Another guy to keep an eye on. We've touched on some of the kids down on the farm for the San Francisco Giants. Pitching at AAA, Carson Whisenhunt. I know Welsh, that's the guy you've been looking at as well. He's got a 3 ERA, a 1 whip. Again, this is PCL numbers too, which makes it even more spectacular. 52 strikeouts, just 7 walks over 51 innings. He's the top pitching prospect in the organization. Hayden Birdsong is getting that crack right now in that rotation because they're moving on from Hicks into the bullpen. Hicks started in the bullpen, so it's not too surprising there. But if Birdsong doesn't pitch well, or there is an injury or another underperformer, could we see Whisenhunt this season?
Yes, 100%. And one thing he has going for him is he's a lefty, and they only have one lefty in the rotation. It's Robbie Ray, and they've got 4 righties in there. We've seen some big changes out of Whisenhunt too, and the number one has been in the form of walks. He has registered a stop among stop. It's been just like 4 walk per 9, 5 walk per 9. It's 1.24 this year, and he's taken away on the strikeouts, but he's become way more efficient as well. Pitch usage or mix has changed just a tiny bit this year. He's not throwing a cutter as much. He's kind of going heavy sinker slide up, and he has a world-class changeup, which is a big strikeout pitch, but he has had some big command issues. So it looks like he can be not a frontline starter, but he can be in the rotation. That changeup is an absolute strikeout with pitch. I've seen him quite a bit in the AFL and out here in Arizona. That I think if Birdsong struggles, or honestly, there's some old guys, I don't know. Like there could, whether there's an injury or some other type of change. I mean, maybe Landon Raup even doesn't work. Whisenhunt's the next guy up. That's the most important thing. He's the next guy up. He's a lefty that helps that rotation with strikeout potential. So you should watch him and watch the other guys for sure.
All right, we've watched Jack Caglione all year at AA, just smack baseballs around. 322, 394, 553 slash with 9 homers, 43 ribbies, 2 steals, and a partridge in a pear tree. And now, on Sunday, he got promoted to AAA. So, here we go. Or should I say, one of the worst offenses, one of the lowest at the bottom of the barrel in OPS right now of all teams is the Kansas City Royals. They got a little bit better recently in May, but still, Welsh, they lack some power and protection for Bobby Witt. Will Jack Caglione be that guy, and how soon could that happen?
Yeah, this is the timeline we've been talking about for quite some time, because I don't think no one's really known what you do or what they are going to do with Caglione. But we said as he has progressed, it started to look more and more like there could even be this potential that they bring him up from AA. But what you want to see is the move from AAA. Bam, we've got it. He's leaving AA hitting 322, 9 homers. Here's the most impressive piece of it. Only a 21% K percentage. That's huge because he had some huge swing and miss issues. He's played right field. He can obviously play first. He's a DH. I think this move is setting us up to post All-Star break, Jack Caglione coming up to the majors, especially if the Royals are still just kind of locked into this big, this division is just open right now. And if they're locked into it, I really do think that they're going to bring him up. They're going to try him in the outfield. They might spell him, depending what's going on with Vinny Pasquantino at first base. Either way, I think his bat is getting into the lineup. They're just going to have to figure out the days they want Salvi to be DHing to make sure they're comfortable with him defensively. So here's what I watch for. Watch for the strikeout rate, watch for him hitting consistently, and watch for him playing in the outfield. I think the month timeline is around that spot. So what I would do is I would pick him up pre-All-Star break. I'd pick him up if he's floating out there in about 3 weeks or so, maybe a month into mid-June before we start to get the big moves. But hey, listen, if he goes and hits 400 in AAA, we might be way overshooting it. He might be up sooner rather than later, but I do believe he'll be up this year.
Lastly, I want to talk about a guy who's only recently come across my sphere in terms of the prospect world, CJ Kayfus. 2 for 4 with a 2-run dinger on Sunday. He is 23 years old. He's hitting 379 in 15 games of AAA with 3 homers, 11 RBIs, and a steal. Now, the Guardians have not gotten a lot out of Carlos Santana. Let's be honest. He was kind of that stopgap veteran guy they brought back for the 1,000th time to see what they could do there. Manzardo's been more of a DH. He has struggled to hit for batting average again. Could CJ Kayfus be a guy that we see sooner than later? Because as you mentioned, that division with the Royals and the Tigers and the Guardians is really tight. Minnesota Twins just getting a little healthier too. They just got Lopez back a few weeks ago, and now, of course, Royce Lewis back as well. So could we see the Guardians reach down at AAA and bring up some more offense in Kayfus?
I definitely think it's a possibility. It might be kind of crazy for this team if they were to cut bait on Santana and have 2 very young players in Kayfus and Manzardo both be that DH first base spot. I think that would make things a little difficult, but they are giving him the push. They moved him from AA to AAA within the first month of the season. I do think that is very, very telling. So far in AAA, he's meeting the call again. He's hitting 379 in AAA over 15 games. He's hitting homers. His strikeout rate's a little bit up. They're going to want to see that come down, but he's a left-handed hitter who's going to take full advantage of that right-sided pull, that little wind tunnel that's happened, so he could smash some homers. I do think there's an absolute possibility. If an injury happens, I think we could end up seeing him. But they're going to have to feel really comfortable, whether it's like a defensive side or the bat is ready, because they've got these other guys that can interchange, like Gabriel Arias could like go and play first base. They keep interchanging these type of players, but Kayfus, for them to move him to AAA, they're not moving him to AAA to finish the year there. He definitely is going to get a look, and offensively, he's a sneaky guy, AL-only league player or deeper league if he were to be called up. I just don't think the timeline is like Cags. Like, you got to wait for him to get called up, so put him on a watch list.
All right, that's prospecting with the Welsh. Make sure you go to fantasypros.com to see more of Welsh's takes on the prospects that could impact your fantasy baseball future. Let's get to the 3 up and 3 down. Up, Max Fried, very good night for him. 8 more strikeouts. Man, that ERA is just dazzling. I know the expected ERA is going to be higher. He's going to come back to earth a little bit, but man, what an incredible run Max Fried has been. He has saved this rotation. Jeffrey Springs back on track still. So good to see. A run and 2 hits, 6 2/3. Everyone's kicking themselves for dropping him to the waiver wire. And CJ Abrams 3 for 5 with 2 homers, 2 ribbies, and 3 runs scored yesterday in a win over the O's. The Downs. Oh, well, so Shane Boss continues to just unravel before our eyes. Brian Bayo got lit up for 7 runs. Zach Eflin, 8 runs on 10 hits, because the Orioles pitching staff. But I want to go to Boss for a second, too, because that's the one I'm getting tons of questions on. Do I drop him? Do I keep him? I'm not sure what's unraveled here for him. I'm not sure if you look in that Baseball Savant page, you're going to have the crystal ball to see it either. Maybe it's a combination of pitch mix, confidence, whatever it might be. But at some point here, I don't know how long you can keep Ian Seymour down in this rotation when Boz keeps going out there and getting lit up. Pepio's pitch better. We're still waiting on McClanahan. We don't have a time frame, but I'm worried about Boz's spot in that rotation.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I'm like, I guess that's a decent point. You threw me off there because it's like, am I worried about his rotation spot? I'm not sure that they're going to just cut bait after, 4 or 5 bad starts. This is a guy that they see as like a big future piece that is going to be here for years to come. I think they can work out through this for the most part at the major league level. What's interesting now, the other part of that is like outside of losing the rotation spot, is he going to be serviceable for fantasy? I don't know. He cut his slider. I mean, he threw it 21% of the time last year. That was the second most used pitch. It's 4th. He only throws it about 8% of the time. And last year, it had like a 160 average against. So he's fastball, curveball, changeup. That's primarily where he's going. The unfortunate part is, 294 average against fastball, 259 against changeup. But those are both overperforming or underperforming, I guess would be the way to say it, because the expected batting average against is quite a bit lower. And that's what leads to him having an only 4 expected ERA versus the over 5 that he is currently actually running. But the strikeouts haven't been there. He's throwing to just a bunch more contact right now. Zone contact is up to 85%. It was 83 last year. So the stuff isn't stuffing. And I think Boz in 12 and 10 team leagues can kind of easily be push through, and you can go with there. We've talked about so many guys that are like streamers that we don't feel comfortable holding on to. I think Boz is in that territory. Like, there's no reason to hold on to it right now. It's really, really messy. And when there's guys like Abel or Chandler coming or Merrill Kelly with good starts, don't hold on to gripping for life that he's going to be this big ace. That doesn't seem like it's going to adjust through the rest of this year.
All right, let's get to, first of all, before we get to the injuries, Welsh, I have to ask you, did you bring your activity for today's Kyzatrex read?
Oh,
Did you bring your quilting or any sort of, I don't
yeah.
know, puzzle you're doing with
Oh
your
my gosh.
grandchildren? Well, don't break your setup.
Yeah, I was breaking stuff. I'm gonna do some typing here on this.
Okay, you're gonna
this
type.
machine.
What is that? Is this sort of ColecoVision?
It's actually it's like
what the hell is this?
it's a label maker.
Okay.
It's a label. It does. It looks like one of those like
It looks like the
T83
calculator from when I was in middle school. You had to get that
Yeah.
scientific calculator that was
It
this
does.
big. And you had to-
Remember when they're like you got to spend the $90 on this. There's no way you'll be
Yeah.
able to have it anywhere else. And we all have phones that have that. And we don't have to do it.
All right. So I want you to make some labels for some things in your house and do it happily. All right. Here
Okay.
we go. Coming
Making
down
it.
in 3, 2, and 1. When you train hard, you show up, but lately something feels off. Fatigue lingers, recovery takes longer, and your performance isn't quite where it used to be. These might be signs of low testosterone, a condition affecting about 30% of adult men in America. And Kyzatrex is an FDA-approved testosterone replacement therapy designed for men like you. Not an injection, it's not a gel. It's a twice-daily pill that fits seamlessly into your active lifestyle, helping to restore your testosterone to optimal levels. Know your T-score and get tested today by visiting Kyzatrex.com/testing kit. That's KYZATREX.com/testing kit. And by prescription only is Kyzatrex. It's a controlled substance that can be a target of abuse, and Kyzatrex is not for use in pregnant women or men with prostate or breast cancer. Safety and efficacy in those younger than 18 is not known. Tell your doctor about all medical conditions and medications you're on. Serious side effects could include increased blood pressure, worsening prostate symptoms, increased risk of prostate cancer, blood clots in the legs or lungs, decreased sperm count, liver problems, enlarged or painful breasts, and breathing problems while you sleep. But common side effects include swelling of the ankles, feet, or body, increased red blood cell count, and increase in PSA, prostate antigen levels. PSA is a test used to detect prostate cancer. Report these symptoms to your doctor and call your doctor to learn more about Kyzatrex. For questions and more information, visit Kyzatrex.com or 1-833-949-5040. All right, good. Would you? I can't see. Oh, Kyzatrex. There you go. The label has been made. There you go.
Why doesn't it want to be clear?
I
Be
think you're too
clear,
close.
camera.
You're too close. Pull it away. I think because it's white.
Oh,
Like,
pull it
balance
away. The Kyzatrex.
and then
There we go.
You can't. Yeah, you don't want to inject it. You want to just take it slowly.
There we go.
you go.
Kyzatrex.
There
It's
you
so
go.
tiny. Look at it. We need to make this bigger. We'll use that with Kyzatrex. We'll make it bigger.
There you go. Let's get to the injuries. Some good news and some bad news. That's what injuries are about. Brandon Woodruff threw a bullpen session, so he's gonna go make 2 more rehab starts. For the love of God, can we get Brandon Woodruff to start, please? It's gonna be the year 2032, and Brandon Woodruff's still gonna be making.
It's
rehab
never
starts.
gonna happen. It's gonna. You actually should do like a live stream when he actually pitches. Like it'll be incredible.
Well, I was like, I hope I live to see it. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Gonna have your next prostate exam before he starts again.
Casey Mize threw a bullpen session. He's rehabbing. Yu Darvish is not going to join the rotation during the upcoming series against the Blue Jays. So next to that, Hunter Green threw a bullpen session yesterday. All was well there. Tyler O'Neill goes to the 10-day IL with a shoulder impingement. Evan Carter, goes to the 10-day IL, retroactive to the 17th with a right quad strain. And Spencer Strider, the good news. I saved the good news for last. He was activated. Let's go. Are you excited here? And are you surprised he didn't have a rehab start or one of Brandon Woodruff's many rehab starts?
Well, I suppose it like you don't hate to see it, but some of these guys that are out, if you're out for like 2 weeks, you're just not going to see rehab assignments. They're talking about that with Tommy Edman. Teoscar's not doing that. If it's like a 2, possibly 3 weeks, most of these players just hang out at the stadiums. They're good to go. When it gets to a month or more, or there's been significant time, like, leading up, like missing part of the season, that's when they care about this stuff. So no, I'm not really surprised.
Lee said Kyzatrex should send us some swag.
What kind of swag would they send us?
What kind of swag did they send? Like, I don't know. I think it gives you the swag. That's all you need. And speaking of swag,
Connor.
we got some swag after the weekend. 3-1 over the weekend. It's time for the best bets
Of the day.
with Joey P and the Welsh. Let's start here with the best bets of today with Nick Castellanos. Oh, baby, let's go. Because Castellanos has a really good track record against Kyle Freeland.
Something
3
bad
homers.
happened in the world?
Well, yeah, actually, over the weekend something did. But anyway, Kyle Freeland, 3 homers and 17 at-bats, 1,000 OPS in his career. So let's just take it easy and let's just bet minus 110 for him to drive in a run today. The Phillies' expected run total is 6.5 already. So the Phillies are expected to score some runs, and Nick Castellanos should be in a good position to drive some in today. So give me Castellanos to get an RBI, minus 110. Also on the mound today for the Miami Marlins is Edward Cabrera, the human gas can. And he, I think, is going to give up some total bases to Kyle Tucker. Give me 2+ total bases at minus 115 on the FanDuel machine. And then the Tampa Bay Rays on the run line. Pepio's on the mound. He's pitched really well lately. He's got a quality start in 4 of his last 5 appearances, but he's winless. It's time. It's time to get a win here. Let's go. The Astros lineup is defunct right now. They're missing a ton of pieces still. Give me the Rays on the run line at minus 1.5 for plus 146. Welsh, what do you have here for the people on a Monday?
I am all plus moneyed here on Monday. So it is nothing but plus money plays. We are going to start it off with probably my favorite of the day, Christopher Sanchez. We are alt lining his strikeouts to 7. You could maybe even ladder it, to be honest with you. 6 is like pretty decent minus money. 7 is plus 120 right now, going up against the Colorado Rockies, who stink and give up all the strikeouts. One of the worst teams in baseball. Give me Chris Sanchez alt line. I might even flirt with the 8, to be honest with you, but 7 for plus money. Yes, and thank you. He had over 7 in his last start. Half of his starts this year, 4 of his 8 starts, he has had 7 or more strikeouts, and he's got the Colorado Rockies. So again, yes, and thank you. Kansas City first 5 money line. We're going to be backing Chris Bubich going up against the Giants here. Robbie Ray's been pretty solid. Bubich has got a 1.66 ERA. I'm getting plus money for them to have a lead early on. Offense maybe picking up a little bit. So yes, sir. And then Arizona Diamondbacks first 5 money line. This is against the Dodgers, which is very scary. Brendan Pfaadt can be very scary with his homers. But Landon Knack is on the mound. And the Arizona Diamondbacks offense is also pretty scary. So I think we can get one of those early good versions of Brandon Pfaadt that holds down the homers and the runs, and we are going to get the Diamondbacks getting to Landon Knack quick. It's plus money through the first 5 innings, plus 105, and like both of those first 5s, if they happen to be tied, we push and we move on. So KC, Arizona first 5 plus money, alt line Chris Sanchez, strikeouts, bing and boom.
There you go, bing and boom. And speaking of bing and boom, why don't you make your booms bigger by going over and using our FanDuel link, fantasypros.com/leading off. When you bet your first $5 boom and it wins, you get the bang and the $250 in bonus bets. There you go. Right now, fantasypros.com/leading off. Let's look at the home run board because we're over time here today. I got no home runs. Pete Alonso was useless to me. I got a lot of rage this morning. Marty's at the top with 20 after the weekend. George and far out at 19. Wonky Penguin still holding 18. Razor at 17. Welsh not highlighted. I just want you to know.
Apparently, Razor Ramon is the new. He's part of Fantasy Pros now. He gets highlighted, and I don't.
Good
That's
night,
cool.
a bad guy. The Welsh at 15 still on the board. I am not at double digits. Sammy Sosa jersey up for grabs from Pristine Auction. Go to our chat. fantasypros.com/chat for our Discord to go pick your home runs. I'm going to go with Nick Castellanos today. And you can speculate whatever why. I'm just doing it by the numbers. That's it. Just by the numbers, Nick Castellanos. And you get a pretty good number on him, too. Vegas is giving me a plus 480 for him to go yard today. So I like that one. Welsh, where are you going for your home run call today?
I'm going to go with Bobby Witt Jr. There's some big wind here today in these games. We had, I think it's like almost 20-mile-an-hour winds coming in the Cleveland game. There's a couple that are just kind of pushing on the outskirts, but this is one of those where it's like 15 to 17-mile-an-hour winds going out, especially on the right-handed side. So we're going to tag a really good contact hitter in Bobby Witt Jr. as our boy hitting in San Francisco against Robbie Ray in that home run. Give me highlighted. Maybe I can get highlighted next show.
Busy weekend, busy Monday. Thanks for joining us again. Go find us on the Twitch at Fantasy Pros. And of course, don't forget also to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Fantasy Pros MLB. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on for the Welsh. I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. I wonder what your next activity is going to be for the Kyzatrex read.
Shouting out Vanrod for the gifted subs today.
Yeah, Vanrod. Making it happen. Making it rain subs. Love it.
Vanrod.
She's the best. I love our Peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Nobody's better than our audience.